Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 6 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 6 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter probability. The lessons we're going to cover today are make predictions, probability of opposite mutually exclusive and overlapping events, compound events, find the number of outcomes by counting and identify independent and dependent events. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I am on grade 6 math. The chapter we are on right now is probability. Let's just start with the lesson that predictions. If you spin the spinner 5 times, what is the best prediction possible? It will not land on blue. Just look at the spinner for 5 portions and blue are 4. So the probability of not blue is 4 out of 5, right? So you need to multiply it by the. So 5 and 5 cancel out, you are left with 4. That in the spinner 5 times, 4 times it land on not blue. Got it? The correct option is 4. Let's just start with the test questions. If you flip 2 coins 8 times, what is the best prediction possible for the number of times both coins will land on tail, right? So you have 2 coins, right? The total outcomes you have for the 2 coins is either they have tail, have head tail, they have tail head, and possible outcomes when you have it. You have to see the probability if it will land on tail and tail, both have tails. So the probability of tail and tail is 1 out of 4. Did these coins 8 times, so multiply. That is 2. So that means if you flip the best prediction is 2 times it will land on tail and tail. The correct option is option number 2 is the correct option. Got it? If you spin the spinner 12 times, what is best prediction possible for the number of times it will not land on blue? Can you guys please answer the question I'm asking? So you have the probability of not blue, right? That is, I think, 9. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Yes, that is 9 out. So you spin the spinner 12 times. So 9 by 12 times 12. 12 and 12 cancel out. You are left with 9. The correct 9. Very good option. 3 is the correct option. That is 9. Okay, if you spin the spinner 6 times, what is the best prediction possible for the number of times it will land on yellow or green, which is the correct option? That is, yes, that is 6, because the probability of green or yellow is 1, right? 6 by 6 it is, that is 1. So the correct option is 6, and 1 times 6 is 6. Option number 3 is the correct option. If you spin the spinner 9 times, what is the best prediction possible? It will land on yellow, which is the correct option. That is, the probability of yellow is 6 by 9, right? You did that 9 times. So the correct option is the probability of yellow is, you have 6 portions out of 9 that are yellow, right? So that is 6 out of 9. The spinner 9 times. So multiply it that 6 times, it will land on yellow. The correct option is 6 times it will land on yellow. So the correct option is option number 1, that is 6. Next one is, if you spin the spinner 10 times, what is the best prediction possible for the number of times it will land on yellow or blue, which is the correct option? The correct option is 10. Option number 3 is the correct option. Got it? You can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, and the next lesson is that is probability of opposite mutually exclusive and overlapping lesson. Okay, so let's just start with the first example. You pick a card at random. What is the probability not greater than 5? So which is the correct option? Not greater than 5, right? Just look at the cards. You have only one card, that is 5. All the cards are greater than 5. So yeah, that is the 1 out of 5. The probability of not greater than 5 is 1 out of 5, right? You need to write down the answer in the percentage form, multiple test questions. You flip a coin. What is the probability of not tails? Which is the correct option? That is 50%, right? Because when we are working on the coins, we have only two options, the head or tail. And we have 50% probability of head and 50% for tail. So for not tail means the probability of head, that is 50%. Option is 50%. Okay, use a spinner once. What is the probability of not pink? Write your answer as a percentage. So you have 9 portions that are not pink out of 10. Probability of not pink. So you have to convert it into percentage form. So by the 100, that is 90%. The correct option is percent. Option number 3 is the correct option. The correct option is 90%. Can you guys please stop chatting and focus on the lesson we are working on? You spin the spinner once. What is the probability of not green, which is the correct option? That is 5 over 6 because not pink is you have 5 portions out of. You roll a 6-sided die. What is the probability of not even, which is the correct option? So the correct option is 50%. It is because half of the numbers are even dice and half of them are. The correct option is 50%. Option 1 is the correct option. Very good. Okay, you pick a card at random. What is the probability of not green, which is the correct option? not green is 85%. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is that is compound events. Find the number of outing. So the compound event means the more than one events, right? To spin the spin, how many outcomes are possible? So you need to see the two possible outcomes, right? You do three and three cards total outcomes. So you have to do 3 times 3, that is 9. So the total outcomes for this event is 9. Got it? Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Let's just start with. Okay, you spin the spinner and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? You have two outcomes for the spinner and four outcomes for the card. So together they make 8. So that means now which is option number 1. That is 8. Okay, the next one is you spin the spinner and pick a card. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? Which option is the correct one? The correct option is 2 times 8, that is 16. Option number 3 is the correct option, that is 16. Okay, the next one is you pick a card and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? So which is the correct option? Very good. That is 4 times 3 is 12. You have 12 outcomes. You pick a card and spin the spinner. How many outcomes are possible? Option number one is the correct option. 5 times 3 makes 15, so the outcomes are 15. Okay, the next one is you roll a die and pick a marble. How many outcomes are possible? So, which is the correct option? Very good. That is 6 times 2 is 12. So, the total outcomes are 12. You pick a card and see outcomes are possible. So, which is the correct option? Yes, 16. It is option number D. Correct option. You roll a die and flip a coin. How many outcomes are possible? Which is the correct option? That is 6 times 2, and 6 times 2 is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is identify dependent and dependent independent lesson. So, Briquet spins the spinner twice. Are these two events dependent or independent? So, whenever you were talking about the spinners are always the independent event, right? Keep this in your mind. They are always the independent events. What are the dependent and independent events? If the outcomes of the second outcomes of the second event are affected by the outcomes of the first event, then that means they are the dependent events, right? Okay, let's just look at the example. Justin pick a card at random. Without putting the first card back, he picks a second card at random. Are these two events independent or dependent? So for the first time, he have one, two, three, four, seven cards and didn't put the card back. Now for the second time, he has six cards. So you can see the outcomes of the second event are affected by the outcomes of the first event, that means they are the dependent events. If the outcomes for both the events are not same, then that they are the dependent events. So they are the option number one is the correct option. They are dependent event. Jennifer picks a card at random, put it back, and then picks another card at random. Are the two events dependent or independent? So for the first time he have three cards. He picked a card and put the card back. For the second event, for the second time he again have three cards. So that means they are the independent event. If the outcomes of both the events are exactly same, they independence. Independent events they are, right? Tara pulls a coin out of her pocket and places it on the table. Then she reaches back into her pocket and take out a second coin. Are these two events dependent or independent? For example, for the first time, she have four coins in her pocket, right? She pulls one coin out and places it on the table. Now for the second event, she have three coins. So they are the dependent events, right? If the outcomes are not same for both the events, then that means they are the dependent events. So the correct option is dependent events. Okay, Aaron spins the spinner twice. Are these two events dependent or independent? Spinners are always independent, right? So the correct option is independent events. Dean and Christopher see a movie together. Dean picks a chair first, then Christopher does. Are these two events dependent or independent? So which one? Dependent events, right? Because for the first time they have two chairs, right? One chair is selected by the dean. Now for the Christopher have only one chair. So that means they are the dependent events. Without looking, Harry chooses a colored marble from a mixed bag of marbles, writes down the color, and returns it back to the returns it to the bag. When he draws another marble without looking, what's dependent or independent? independent independent event because he put the marble back in the bag, right? That is independent. Option 2. Student in a composition class may select certain topics on which to write an essay. Repeats are allowed. Are they do not need to inform the teacher to their choices prior to the due date of the essay, which is the correct option because the repetitions are allowed, so that means they are the independent events. Got it? You can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 6 math. The chapter we were working on is probability, and the lessons we have make predictions, probability of opposite mutually. Then we have compound events, find the number of outcomes by counting, and identify dependent. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So that's all for today. If you have any question, you can please ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions. No questions. And bye everyone.